Hi friends, welcome to the Common Sense Grandma. If you're new here, my name is Michelle, and today we are going to have some fun. We are going to make 7 freezer meals. I already have over there 17 jars of jam that I made this morning. In the Instant Pot there, I have chicken broth ready to can up. I need to strain it and get it in some jars. But I was thinking earlier this week, I need to get my extended pantry and my freezer filled up with good ingredients for meals that are easy to make and I don't have to think about it. You know, sometimes I get tired. All of you know what that's like, especially for those of you who work full-time. I don't know how you do it. I mean, I'm much older now. In fact, yesterday was my birthday. Tomorrow is my husband's birthday. But you know, there's times I just don't feel like cooking. And last week there were 4 of us here that we hadn't had dinner yet, and we were having a big party on Sunday for my husband. He's turning 70 tomorrow, so we had a big celebration for him on Sunday. I knew I was going to be cooking, and it was at 12 o'clock on Sunday, so I had a lot to do that morning, and I really didn't feel like making dinner. So what did we do? We went out for Thai food, and it's about $85 for the 4 of us. By the time we just drank water, nobody ordered drinks, of course. We had our meals, and we did have soup. We were able to bring some food home, but still, that's a lot of money. I didn't even spend that much on what we are going to be putting together today for 7 meals. And that's 7 meals for 4 to 6 people. A big, big difference when we cook from scratch. We save so much money. And so while we're doing these meals, I'm also going to be talking a little bit about how you can stock your pantry with items that are ready to go, and you can throw a meal together so quickly. Now, I am going to start here with light country lemon chicken. And these meals come today from, it's freezerfit.com. Here is the package. If you sign up to just watch the video, she will email you this whole set of recipes. I believe there's 10. I'm not doing all of them because I actually made one last night just to see what it was like. Let me grab that out of the refrigerator. It's called a chickpea, I don't know how to say it, tagine. I added chicken to it. I'm not sure if you can see that. All I can say was it was delicious. The seasoning was spot on. I measured everything. It was so good. It was very, very yummy. I'm not a fan of chickpeas, but with the sauce, it was so good. And so I'm not going to make the freezer meal for this today, simply because I'm very low on chickpeas. And in fact, here's a jar of dried organic chickpeas that I will be cooking tomorrow. I'm going to do some canning tomorrow. But let's get started on these meals. I hope I can go through this pretty quickly. I'm not adding the chicken until the end. Now, all these meals I'm making today are all chicken. I believe 2 of the meals in this recipe have ground beef. One of them is meatballs. I haven't found a frozen meatball that I like. I'm sorry, I don't know. A lot of them have pork in it. We don't eat pork. And so I just make them myself from scratch, put them in the oven, bake them, and then put them in a Ziploc and put them in the freezer. I just need to get to that. But let's start here. Do you see all this mess too? But this is all for the meals. This is for 7 meals, friends. I mean, to me, we can do this one time, and then you can throw them in your slow cooker or your Instant Pot, cook it on the stove. Maybe you can bake them, whatever you want to do. I think they're all very user-friendly. So this first one is light country lemon chicken. It has 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast or thighs. We're using thighs. Chicken broth, Italian dressing or olive oil, parsley, lemon juice and zest, garlic powder, onion powder, dried rosemary. I'm not including that. I'm not a fan of eating rosemary, and I have a beautiful rosemary bush right outside this window. I can see it. It smells so good, but it's not my favorite flavor to eat. Salt, pepper, oregano. So here we go. We put in 1 cup of chicken broth. You know what? I want to use a different measuring cup. Here it is. So we start with 1 cup of chicken broth. It's funny, I have canned chicken broth, but the amount that I need today is probably about this amount. So I'm saving my canned chicken broth for something else. All right, chicken broth. 1/4 cup Italian salad dressing. This salad dressing is like Olive Garden, but it's Aldi brand. It tastes the same, and it's very, very good. Okay, 1/4 cup. I'm really excited about having these meals ready to go. Okay. I'm skipping the fresh parsley because I don't have any, but I will put in some freeze-dried. It will be fine. Ooh, that smells good. Okay, juice and zest of a lemon. I went outside earlier and picked some lemons. We have a Meyer lemon tree, and it's doing so well. What do we have next? Okay, a tablespoon of garlic powder. I'm not sure why she doesn't use the garlic in the jar, but since this is my first time making this, I am going to follow instructions and see how it comes out. Okay, garlic powder next. Skipping the rosemary. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. It took me forever to find this in the cupboard. It was right in front of me. Do you guys do that? All right. Salt, pepper, oregano. How much salt? A teaspoon. Okay. Pepper, we'll do 1/2 teaspoon. And oregano, 1/2 teaspoon. I had to write oregano down and basil on my, I have a list right here for the grocery store. Okay, this one is done. We'll move this out of the way. I don't know where I'm going to put all these things. Next, we have brown sugar garlic chicken. 1/2 cup of chicken stock. You know, when you're cooking in your Instant Pot, you need to have at least 1/2 cup, minimum 1/2 cup of some sort of liquid. 1/3 cup brown sugar. I have it right here. 2 tablespoons olive oil. You know what I did yesterday was I chopped about 8 onions. I used my food chopper, carrots and celery, resupplied my freezer. So I have that out today just to make it easy. 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar. Hopefully there's enough here for, I have 2 recipes using this. I have another one of these in the back of the house. All right. Garlic powder and parsley. A whole tablespoon of garlic powder. Okay, I lost it again. Here it is. I don't know why this is from Trader Joe's, and I'm expecting it to be in a different garlic powder, not onion powder. I'm expecting the color to be different for that container. That's why I can't find it. No onion powder, my bad. Garlic powder, parsley. This smells so good already. Oh, a whole tablespoon. Okay. Oh, I'm using freeze-dried, not fresh. Oh, whatever. Freeze-dried is almost the same measurement as fresh. 1 teaspoon Italian seasoning. Salt, paprika, pepper. Half a teaspoon. Pepper and cayenne. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of the cayenne. I don't want too much. It says 1/4 of a teaspoon. All right, 2 down. Chicken fajitas, that will be delicious. Okay, 1 bag, 16 ounce per bag of frozen color bell peppers and onion strips. I just have my own, so I cut up a purple onion. I cut these up yesterday, and I need 1 for another recipe. So I'm not going to use this whole bag. That's good. A 1/4 cup olive oil. Just using the same measuring cup, I don't care. It's okay. It will all taste good. All right, I skipped the juice. It calls for a lime. I'm out of limes. I only have my lemons, so we are using a lemon. When I was watching the girl, I think her name's Susanna, make these meals, she went so fast. She had everything lined up, and she had all of the seasonings in little containers. If I had little containers, I would have done that because it made the video go really fast. Done with that. Okay. Garlic powder, chili powder, cumin. Garlic powder. How much? Oh, a tablespoon. Okay. So 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. Chili powder. 1 teaspoon. Cumin. I know I've got it out. This doesn't want to come off. Okay, do it this way. Onion powder. Now we use the onion powder. 1 teaspoon. Paprika, 1 teaspoon. Half a teaspoon salt. 1/4 teaspoon pepper. And a little dash of cayenne. And that's it for this recipe until we put the chicken. And I see that I'm going to need to get more of these things here. Okay, chicken cacciatore. All right, 2 cans of, this is store brand Rotel. That's what it calls for. With liquid. Yeah, I wouldn't drain it. I think it needs the liquid. I've never made chicken cacciatore with rotel, but I think it will be delicious. 1 can of tomato paste. I actually have not made chicken cacciatore in years, and I have no idea why, because it is very, very delicious. Okay. You know, it calls for 1/4 cup of red cooking wine. I just opened this bottle. We got this for Christmas. I am just going to use my tomato paste can. It's okay if there's a little extra. So I can clean the can out, rinse it. I don't want to waste anything. Need to wipe the counter up here. It's a little bit wet. Okay. Here's the other bell pepper goes in here. Just put about half of this. And then 1 cup of onions. So, or a chopped onion if you're chopping up your onions then. She recommended buying onions that are already pre-cut, but you know, you can chop your own onions for a lot less money. One cup of chicken stock. And it also calls for mushrooms. I am out of mushrooms, but I have freeze-dried. So that's what I'm going with. I have some freeze-dried onions. That was the rest of that can of onions, so it's in there. All right. 1/4 cup olive oil, and then just the seasonings. Tablespoon of garlic powder. She likes her garlic powder. Looking for the dry one. Teaspoon of basil. This is one that I need to buy. I'm almost out. Oregano, teaspoon. Salt and pepper. Half a teaspoon salt. 1/4 teaspoon pepper. Okay. Now, I need some of these. I'm going to seal it up. I've actually never used these bags. This is my first time. I will link below where I got these bags on Amazon, if I can figure out how to close them. I'll do that later. I'll just balance it over here. Okay, next meal. We have 3 to go. Chicken teriyaki. And look at these beautiful photos with all of the your ingredients, and then on the back your instructions, and either for slow cooker or instant pot. So handy. So our ingredients for this, of course, the chicken. Ooh, 1 cup of sugar, brown sugar. I think this one is called, oh, it's chicken teriyaki. Okay. 1 cup of light brown sugar. Half a cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup soy sauce. Doing the soy sauce. And half a cup of ketchup. Yep. I buy my ketchup most of the time from Aldi because you're able to get, or this is organic ketchup, and I think it's $2.25. That's a good price. Okay, ketchup is done. 2 tablespoons of teriyaki. I had to buy teriyaki sauce. I never buy it because I just make it. But I got this at Aldi also. I don't know if you can see it. I took a little bite. It's very, very good. All right, teaspoon of ground ginger. I'm just gonna dump a little bit in because this bottle's almost finished. I go through a lot of ginger. Garlic powder, teaspoon, onion powder, teaspoon. Here's the garlic. Onion, pepper, a whole teaspoon. I'm not putting that much, that's a lot. Okay, it doesn't need salt because of the soy sauce. Now, it calls for 3 tablespoons cornstarch, but not needed until day of cooking. Same with 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, not needed until day of cooking. Okay, let's move this. 2 to go. This one is peach chicken. And I don't know if you've ever made like an apricot barbecue sauce for meatballs, but sometimes I even make vegetarian meatballs with apricot barbecue sauce. But you could also make it with peach jam, and it's really good. So this is kind of a similar theme. So she says 1 bag of frozen peach slices. Now this morning I made that jam, and I just used a big bag. I made a double batch of peaches, and I kept out 2 cups of the peaches so I could make this recipe. 1 red onion sliced. We are going with chopped because I don't want to slice another onion. I'll just use this. What does she call for? 1 onion? Okay, so like a whole cup. I think this is going to taste really good. All right. Two tablespoons of light brown sugar. 2 tablespoons, that's close enough. I don't want to put a tablespoon in there and get it dirty. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And then honey, where is my honey? This is how I store my honey, but usually in the bigger jar. You can get these lids on Amazon. Calls for a tablespoon. I don't want to measure putting the honey in the tablespoon and then trying to get it out. It's too hard. I like these lids because you can Just put them in the dishwasher. It comes in a 3-pack. All right, tablespoon of garlic powder. And she put 3 teaspoons ground ginger. It's the same measurement. It's a lot of garlic. Go with the rest of the ginger in here. I think I'll put a little bit more. Sam's Club has these organic seasonings, and I think this is $5 or $6, and it's organic, so not bad. I do use a lot of fresh ginger, but that works. 1 teaspoon salt, and then pepper, and then we just have to add the chicken. 1 to go. Last one is barbecue chicken, which I was thinking I've got barbecue sauce and Worcestershire. That's the last recipe. Oh, smells so good. 1/2 cup of barbecue sauce. I'm just gonna let that tip upside down. Let it, come on, let's go. It's not being cooperative. You know what, I'll put a little chicken stock in here and shake it up. Don't know where my lid is for this, or else I would shake it. Okay, we're getting it. There we go. Okay, I'll get the rest of this out later. I don't want to waste your time. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. Oh, I usually take the whole lid off. This is coming out very slowly. One-4 cup apple cider vinegar. And we have enough. Almost finished. 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning. That's interesting. And barbecue. One thing I found in the meal that I made yesterday, it was very, very flavorful. There's another freezer company that I've tried, freezer meals, and very, very good also. But we'll see how this goes. Okay, 1 teaspoon salt. Pepper, just putting a small amount. 1/2 cup of chicken broth. So I'm going to add more in here. I wish I could find the lid for this. Well, I'll get the rest out later. I think that is all. And then 1 cup of additional barbecue sauce, optional, not needed until the day of cooking. So now we just have to put the chicken in and seal them up. I brought out gloves. So this calls for 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So I think if we put 3 in each one, then we should be good. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how you can make your life easier by having things ready to go to combine. a few weeks ago, I made, what did I make? Chili. And I just took a jar of chili starter that I had made, which I have a video on. I'll link that there. I took chili starter. I had pre-cooked ground beef, and that is a huge secret, friends. If you use ground beef in your cooking, pre-cook it. I'll get my big cast iron out, put 3 pounds in there, pre-cook it, and drain if there's any fat. I use the blend, salt, pepper, garlic, season it, drain it, and then I put it in these quart bags. These are from Amazon, but they're really nice quality. I like the way they are shaped. They're easy to fill up. And then just stick that in the freezer. So I made chili so quick. I took probably 3 jars of different kinds of beans, and I didn't have to season it because the chili starter has all the flavoring in it. I just dumped everything in there, put it in the Instant Pot, let it go for about 10 minutes, and we had the best chili ever. And it was less than half an hour, we had dinner ready. I made some cornbread to go with it. But if you have pre-cooked ground beef in your freezer ready to go, you can make spaghetti, you can do tacos. There's so many things that you can make. So I have all my chicken over here. I will bring you back when I have the chicken in all the bags, and I will show you how it looks. See you in a bit. I now have all the bags filled with chicken, and I actually had to go out to the garage to the big freezer out there and get some more chicken. And a few of these bags, I feel like I still will need to add a little bit more chicken when we go to make it. So we have brown sugar garlic chicken, and these labels come with a package. And it didn't cost anything for me to get this. I just watched a little bit of the video, and while I was watching it, I was emailed the PDF of all of this. So I really like that. This one is light country lemon chicken, and I will be putting these in my freezer. Probably the freezer here in the kitchen, we'll see. Chicken cacciatore. The other one was peach chicken. Teriyaki chicken. Chicken fajitas. And barbecue chicken. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about how can we make our life simpler. I think that's something that a lot of us are striving for. And having to come up with a dinner plan every single night is hard. And I know you mamas work hard. You do. You're taking care of kids. Some of you work out of the home. I've done all that. I worked swing shift when I had to. We have 4 children, and we help raise about, I don't know how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, actually, I've said before 3, but I'm thinking about it now. I forgot about 2 more. We helped raise nieces and nephews for years off and on. And I know what it's like. You have to have a lot of food ready to go, especially teenagers. We have 2 teenagers here in the house half the time, and they don't stop eating. I know one of them, dinner's done, we're all cleaning up, and within an hour, I had a call there, sorry. Our one teenager, right after dinner, we are cleaning up, and that one is back in the refrigerator looking for another meal. That's how it is. We had 4 teenagers all at one time. I know what that's like. And if we prepare ahead of time, not just having freezer meals, but making sure that your pantry is stocked with things that's easy to cook. With these meals, all I need to do is make some rice and a salad or vegetables. Excuse me. I'm not sick, just allergies today. All we have to do is make some rice or vegetables, salad, whatever you want to pair with this. And you've got a wonderful meal in no time at all with very little effort. This probably took me, honestly, a little over an hour to get ready. And that was just pulling everything out of the cupboard. And I should say, I don't know where it is here on my list, but in this list, she has 2 pages of everything that you need to make all of the meals in that packet. And I tell you, what a lifesaver. I went through it and I had everything except a little bit of chicken. Otherwise, I had all the staples on hand. And it didn't take long. I could have probably done it quicker if I was a little bit more organized about how I had the seasonings laid out. But my main point is, what can we do to simplify our life? You know, there's things that I would like to do around the house here that I feel like I can't get to because I get so tied up doing this and that. I would like to go outside, empty my composter, start planning for the spring garden. That takes time. I would like to reorganize my extended pantry. I have photos from my parents, grandparents, that besides our own photos that I need to go through and scan them all in. That's a big project. I'm actually going to ask some of my kids to help with that. But there's all these projects here around the house that I would like to get to. You know what I would really like to get to? Organizing all of the recipes that I have printed. I have folders and folders and folders. And I try to write on them if I make a change or if I like them. And if I don't like it, I kind of toss it sometimes. But even just that, those things take time. And I know come March, I will be helping with our new little grandson when our daughter goes back to work. She's a nurse educator. She teaches here nursing. And thankfully, I don't think she's going to have the 6 a.m. clinical. Hopefully not. That's early to take care of a baby. But, you know, as grandmas, we do what we have to do. And to me, it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to help with grandkids. I know for my mom, there were 6 kids altogether, kind of a combined family. I have a different dad than the rest of my siblings. But we were a combined family. My stepdad's son, who's a year older than me, lived with us also. There were 6 of us. And then we had my mom and stepdad and great aunt lived with us. So, you know, I'm used to cooking for a lot of people. I'm used to being able to pull things out of the refrigerator and just put them together and make a meal. And I know not all of you have that background. I'm grateful that my mom made sure that we all knew how to cook. And she needed the help. We lived on acreage and chores had to be done outside. The chickens, we had 3,000 chickens. We had 10 acres of orange grove, plus across the street, Grandma and Grandpa had 5 acres. And so, you know, we worked hard, but I'm grateful that I had that upbringing of working hard. That is very important. I don't mind hard work. I have a hard time not working. That's one of my character flaws that I'm working on and learning to relax. In fact, quick little story here. For my birthday yesterday, our youngest daughter said, "Mom, let's go get pedicures." I said, "Okay." And the pedicure lady was trying to get me to do the fancy pedicure. And it's not just about the money. It's that I'm impatient. She, you know, it comes with a massage. And I was trying to explain to her, I don't like sitting still that long. You know, I don't know how to relax. I'm not good at that. And she goes, "But it's your birthday. You need to relax." I go, "Well, fine, go ahead." And you know what? I actually really enjoyed it. It was nice. I did enjoy getting that little pampering. And we all deserve that. All of us deserve good things. We deserve being spoiled sometimes. I'm just not always good at that. But with that said, my main point here is let's get our pantries in order where you have food on hand that you can put together quickly and that is delicious, healthy, all of those things that check the list, let's say, that we should do instead of eating out. To me, eating out should be a treat, something that you look forward to, not because you're too tired to cook or you just don't feel like it. I know when I was growing up, because there were so many of us, and my stepdad was the one who was working. Of course, my mom, when you've got 6 kids, how are you going to work? And great aunt living with us, she was quite elderly. Mom didn't have time to go work. She didn't start working until they were divorcing. And so, and I was a senior already. We shouldn't be out eating out just because we don't feel like making dinner. And part of my goal here on this channel is to give you options of how to make your life easier and simpler. And that's my goal here. I'm looking around at my house. Of course, we did have a lot of people, about 30 people over on Sunday. It's not that bad. It really just needs vacuumed. The Labrador, she brought in sticks from outside today, and I have to go vacuum that. But it's not that bad. But there is clutter, and clutter is not good for our mind. My pantry right here, it needs cleaned out. I think I had mentioned that on a previous video. I need to pull everything out, wipe all the shelves down, go through everything, see what's expired, what we should keep. If things are not good for us, let's toss it. Those things all take time. And I just look forward to having my life in order. I keep saying that, right? Someday, let's have our life in order. Do you folks remember when you first got married? You probably didn't have a lot of things. Maybe you lived in an apartment like we did. We lived in an apartment for about 6 months, and then we moved back to my husband's parents' house here in Loma Linda. They had moved back to Guam. That's where my father-in-law, my mother-in-law too, was working. And they moved back there. So we moved to their house. But even still, there was no clutter because we just didn't have that many things. And nowadays with Amazon, our life gets so cluttered. It's so easy to buy something. I can be in bed, go on my phone, order something, done, got it. We have so many things, and I know I need to simplify. I need to simplify my kitchen. I need to simplify the house, simplify my mind, so I can take care of my husband and take care of grandkids and have fun. I'd like to have fun someday. Not good at that, but I'm trying. You know what I'm having fun with, friends, is doing this channel. Honestly, this is something that is for me. It's not something where I'm helping my husband with the business. I'm not taking care of other people. I'm doing something for me, and I'm connecting with all of you. It's just like there's a lot of homesteaders that I watch, gals, that I feel like they're my friends, even though we don't know each other and they don't know who the heck I am, but I still feel like they're my friends. And I hope that you and I can have that relationship. I can talk forever, so I better stop. With that said, I will see you on the next video. The next video will be more of what we did today with getting our extended pantry in order of, when I say in order, and that is supplying it with the items that we need. So our kitchen is in order and I can make meals easy. I will be doing I have tomatoes in my freezer outside, so I'm going to make more chili base. I could not believe how delicious that tasted and how easy it was to make chili. Just open a bunch of jars, or you can just buy cans. You don't have to can them yourself. By the way, like my broth that's in the Instant Pot there, I may just freeze it. Don't think that because I'm canning something that you have to can something. A lot of things can be frozen. Even jam, you can make freezer jam. You don't have to can it. It only takes 10 minutes in that's a water bath canner. You're not having to pressure can for jam. Broth, you do have to pressure can. But with that said, a lot of things that I'm doing, you can just freeze it. And I'm probably going to actually do that with broth just because it's getting later in the day. It is 4 o'clock, and I apologize you're probably hearing the tick, tick, tick of the clock right there. I usually remove the clock, put it in a different part of the house so you don't hear it. So if you're hearing tick, 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 it's the clock. My apologies. All right, friends. we will get together soon on the next video. And until then, I wish you love and blessings. Bye.